Salutations, fellow denizens of the World Wide Web. Dabrainbox here with Piratic Presents, the intelligent side of gaming. I'm here with Rob, or Ensilking.
Hello.
And we're going to be discussing the next generation of hardware for gaming.
Yep.
Okay, start it off. The obvious one, next generation consoles.
It's the main question everyone's been asking. What will the new Xbox be called?
They're just going to call it the Xbox 180, just to confuse the hell out of everyone.
Yes.
Not much has been teased about the next console generation, probably because they desperately don't want the other companies to find out. Well, obviously
Hardware
the Wii U
specs
out
have been leaked
that's
if you have a look
technically
around.
Yeah, but nothing's been confirmed.
Yeah.
There's been multiple conflicting ones. The Wii U's technically a next-gen console, I guess. And that's alright. I think it could be a lot better if they actually got some good developers to develop some good games for it, but as it is, nobody really knows what to do.
It's the same problem the PS Vita has, that no one has the PS Vita because there aren't good games for it.
And no one's making
there aren't good games for it because the developers don't come, because no one plays it. It's a vicious cycle that's just screwing over many consoles that are very good. Although I'm never seen a Wii U, so I don't know if it's very good.
I don't personally know anyone who's got one, but I've been. I did my research. I was interested in maybe getting one, but honestly, it doesn't look worth it. Not until they release some good games.
Yeah. And when you look at some of the new consoles, you have to wonder how close they're coming to PCs now, being that the PS2s and the original Xboxes were console experiences to a T. You just put your disc in, play. Now it's put your disc in, you must sign in. Okay? You must download terabytes of updates. Okay? You need to buy an external hard drive to fit the terabytes of update on. Please enter this code. Now you can play your game.
And if it goes download only, as some people have been theorising, then honestly, what's the difference between that and buying a PC? Obviously a console will still be cheaper because they're mass producing them, but if you can get an experience that's nearly as good on a PC which you can use for other stuff as well, then why bother with a console?
And did some working out. If you have a console, you still need a PC. No matter what, you need it for Word documents at least.
So if you just spend the money that you would have spent on a console.
A new generation console's 400 quid when it comes out, which seems, I'd say that's about how much the PS3 was when it first came out.
Something like
maybe
that.
A bit less. You'll still need a PC, which is going to cost you at least 100 quid plus a 100 quid operating system.
That's for like bare minimum.
Yeah, for if you want it to be able to run Word and nothing else. Or you could spend 400 quid buying some stuff for that computer and make it as good as your console, if not better.
See, that's the problem with the current console generation. It's 8 years now behind PC tech.
Yeah. I mean, when the PS3 came out, I was blown away with games like MotorStorm.
Yeah.
Just the graphics were, like, photorealistic compared to the PS2's 1 pixel for a face. But then, once they got to the edge of the computer and the PS3's limit with the Uncharted games, especially Uncharted 2, there was no up to that.
Yeah.
But then PC quickly caught up, and I'm like, wait, we can just do more. Like Max Payne 3, for example, they've put 4 times the graphical detail in the PC version because they can.
Well, I mentioned earlier download only was something that they were thinking about for the next console generation, and something which is increasingly becoming the case on PC as well, especially as fibre optic broadband starts spreading everywhere except Rob's house.
I has good internet.
Yes. Well, obviously that means that a lot of stores that sell hard copies of video games are struggling.
Rest in peace, Game Station.
Yes, indeed. But it also is having an effect on other things as well. For instance, Windows 8 has a built-in game marketplace on it.
Boo.
Which honestly seems like Microsoft are trying to butt heads with Steam there. Which
That and
is
Apple.
never a good idea, ever.
They're trying to go up against gaming giant Steam, which no one at the moment can. I mean, EA's tried it, and to be quite honest, they failed. Microsoft, they can force people to get it, but the problem
They
is...
can't force people to use it.
And the authentication process is worse than Steam, by the sounds of it, with my little bit of research I've done. And it won't let you do 18 games, or any R-rated games, which you think, oh, that's reasonable, I guess. But that means you've not got your Left 4 Dead, you've not got your Dishonored, you've not got Skyrim's DLC.
What rating is the Call of Duty series, by the way? I think most of those were either 18s or 16s, weren't they?
Well, Call of Duty Modern Warfare was 15, and then as they sort of realised, oh crap, we're running out of ideas, let's make it more controversial, it's gone up to 18s now.
And as sad as it is, those sorts of games account for the majority of game sales.
Yep, and just scrolling down Steam at the moment, Prototype 2 wouldn't be on, Far Cry 3 wouldn't be on.
Ooh, Far Cry 3? No, that's... If they're missing out on massive games like that, then there's no way that's going to take off at all.
Exactly. And even now, Steam, or Valve, is just coming back with, well, why do people need Windows 8? Because there's much cheaper, as in infinitely cheaper, which is free. You could just get Linux. And originally it was oh, it's no good for gaming. Until Valve came along and went, right, put Steam on it. Infinitely better for gaming. Get Left 4 Dead 2 on it. Make it work better than it did on Windows. Which comes onto the Steam box, which isn't really a console by sound of it. It's just a computer.
It's not a specific product either. They're saying, right, this is what we want it to be. Anyone who wants to go and make one will stick our name on it.
Yes.
And they're incredibly tiny, the prototypes that they've made. Like, they'll fit in the palm of your hand.
The Piston, I believe,
Yes.
was one of them. But although they've said that was not the Steam box, and they are bringing out something that will be the Steam box. But that's not a console, it's a Linux, modified version of Linux to run gaming. Which sounds great to me.
I think what Valve are going for here is they're going to try and release a bunch of different, I don't know, scales of PC. They'll release like the Steam box for people so that anyone can get games and get Steam and start giving them their money. And then they're going to release a slightly better version for people who've had the Steam box and thought, I wish I could play these games in slightly better graphics. And then maybe a top-end PC. Although I doubt that they'll actually do that, seeing as there's so much stuff out there already that fills that sort of spectrum.
And they've not abandoned own PCs anyway. They've added big picture mode recently, which is now my counter-argument to people who go on about how you can sit in your sofa and play on your console.
Well, I'm sitting on my sofa right now. As I don't know if anyone's heard anything about the way I set up, but I'm literally sat on a sofa, keyboard and mouse on a small table by the side of me, PC plugged into the big TV, and that's fine for me. The only problem comes with internet browsing, where I have to zoom in quite a lot. But then again, that's not really much of a problem when it's running in 1080p. Anyway, speaking of small form factor PCs and gaming in your living room, the Ouya, or
I haven't seen much about it recently after the Kickstarter, but I think in concept it's good because isn't it open source last time?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. They want to get lots more people developing games for it. Oh, this also segues nicely into the NVIDIA Shield, if anyone's seen that. That's effectively a smartphone glued to a gaming controller.
Except it's not a smartphone because the specs look like it could just run Crysis free. With its 72 core processor. 72 cores. How do they fit 72 of a thing in that small?
I have no idea. But not only that, but it can also, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card in your PC,
I do.
and it's above a certain spec, then it can stream stuff from your PC to the Shield.
Except not over my internet.
Well, maybe, because it doesn't necessarily work through the internet. It works through the router. So it's effectively a wireless LAN sort of thing.
Yeah, because the PS Vita and the PSP could do that with a PS3, except it couldn't run games, so it was slightly pointless. But you could, if you had films and stuff on your PS3, you could stream it to your PSP from anywhere in the world.
Okay,
which was
on to the Razer Edge, the most powerful tablet in the world, as they advertise it. Most expensive tablet in the world as well. It is $1,300 US.
Bloody hell.
And
What's it?
it's like a couple of $100 each for each of the peripherals. Like everything Razer does, it's a good idea in theory.
But a bit mad.
Yes, it is.
I have one question, or I have two questions.
Go on.
One, the battery life on it.
Yeah, that's something
That
that
and
I've
the
not seen
Shield.
anything about.
I mean, the PS Vita's a powerful little thing. Playing a game, battery life, not plugged in, lasts about 3 hours, which is a bit poor if you're, say, on an aeroplane. But that, if that's even more powerful, even bigger, they need a battery the size of, like, a small planet, or to be permanently plugged in, which means it's not very mobile.
Right, I think that just about wraps this up for today. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys whenever I think there's another topic which needs covering. Bye.
Goodbye, Anne.